But let's start at the place that we used to call White Hart Lane when it was a different stadium. It was next door. I thought this was, you look at the table, you look at Arsenal's lead, and you say, okay, these are situations where they can drop points. Doesn't matter that Tottenham have been on the slide and everything. It's a derby. The wheels come off. But once again, with a little help from Hugo Lloris, and even beyond Hugo Lloris, those first 45 minutes, I thought, were really impressive. You want to parse those 2 goals out, fine. It had been 0-0 at halftime. I would be sitting here really praising Arsenal's performance in that first half.
Yeah, it was a demonstration of football. I think they taught them a lesson. I mean, and the lesson for Spurs is that if you let this Arsenal team play, then they will just play you out of the park. And that's exactly what they did. There was too much freedom, too much time on the ball for a party, for Zinchenko, for the wide players. It was just too easy for Arsenal. They could have scored more. And even if, of course, the first goal, the mistake by Lloris, changes slightly the dynamic. But before that, Nketiah had a chance. And after that, they go chance after chance. And I was very surprised by the lack of intensity from Spurs in that first half again, because apart from the fans who were really up for it, and I was at the game, it didn't feel that the Spurs players were playing a North London derby. It felt like they were playing Aston Villa or some team like that. They were not in it.
See, you can't have it both ways if you're Antonio Conte. You can't be Mr. Intensity and then not transmit that to your team. I thought that was missing. And I thought, obviously, he made some tactical errors in the way he set up as well, which didn't help the team. I thought Spurs were better in the second half. They did create some chances.
Yeah.
Still thought Arsenal had the upper hand, throughout on the balance of opportunities.
If Arsenal played like champions in the first half and defended like champions in the second half, that's what they did. And Ramsdale had a great game, and Spurs I think, have the same high expected goal than Arsenal. So they had their chance, but Arsenal played really like leaders.
Do we fault Hugo Lloris for the second goal too?
Nah, come on. He doesn't see the ball leaving, and I'm sorry, Romero can't turn his back. This is not how you defend. Come on. Odegaard is where you are. I'm Romero, and what? I don't come for the block. I just turn my back and hope for the best. This is not defending.
I guess it's a question of which world champion you want to blame. Romero
I blame Sessegnon for the first goal as well, to be fair. So it's never.
Oh yeah, so it's all on Sessegnon. Yeah. Okay. We have to talk about what happened at the very end. I'm going to try to sum this up as fairly as possible, because I think there was something that happened before, which people sort of forget. So it's the end of the game. Ramsdale, obviously what we saw was Ramsdale going to collect his water bottle, which he had left by the board behind his goal. And then there's a fan who, in a very weird, uncoordinated way, sort of jumps up on the hoarding and kicks him in the back, which leads to, which sort of leads to a melee. Obviously, everybody agrees you can't do that. The fan will never, should never. I don't think we have any trouble identifying him too, because you can see his face. You can actually see. I was looking at. I didn't notice the first time, but when I saw the afters again, you can see him after he does it. He realizes what he's done.
Yeah, he's trying to go quickly back.
Up the thing while everybody's going forward, shouting at Ramsdale. What I do wonder is what happened immediately before that. And by the way, I am not having Ramsdale was phenomenal in the game. It is intense. I'm just putting this out as a viewpoint of what happens in the interaction with fans, right? Just before that, if you're watching the game, Ramsdale and Richarlison, they're kind of joking with each other. Moments afterwards, there's the win. Ramsdale, and he said afterwards he'd been giving stick to the fans, and it was back and forth, and some of the fans were enjoying it and whatever.
So the goal was in front of the white wall, so the closest to the cup than if he had been on the other side.
At one point, Ramsdale visibly gets annoyed. I don't know, somebody shouted something, and he turns to the fans and he says something or whatever.
The crest, yeah.
From
where I was,
shows
I could
the crest,
see properly, yeah.
And then that's when Richarlison goes over and starts wagging. And, again, until 30 seconds earlier, these two guys were kind of yucking it up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it also, obviously I'm not putting any kind of blame on this, but is it also a reminder that, unfortunately, with stadiums the way they are, without barriers, and I think it's good that there are no barriers, you as a player have to remember that there are some crazies out there that will take any provocation.
You still don't think that someone is going to jump over the advertising board to kick you in the back, so they give you stick, you give stick back, but you think it's safe anyway. So it's part
Yeah.
of the game's.
It's a fine line,
trash
and I
talk,
think
but it's a thin line. Yeah,
I think what we might lose is that back and forth. The players are like, I'm not going to take a chance because 99% of those guys are going to be normal. We'll just give it back and forth, and then there's going to be the 1% who's going to go and do something stupid and dangerous, which is what happened here.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.